Do you look in the mirror and you just hate what you see? Can't stand your body? Maybe you're way too skinny and you hate it, or you have some extra body fat and you just look at yourself and just have disgust on your face. That's what I want to talk to you about today. It's a little bit unconventional because we're talking about getting to your goals on how you want to look, and it has nothing to do with weight training or nutrition or anything like that. If we haven't met, my name is Leah. I am certified as a personal trainer and nutrition coach, but I work full-time in a cubicle, not doing that. I have 3 kids in different travel sports, and my husband and I barely see each other because we're like high-fiving all the time, just so busy. The reason why I want to bring this up is because, so I went to the gym this morning and I am working on my own personal goals because I've gained weight since I started working in a cubicle and not working as a trainer anymore. So I know the struggles that come with being a full-time working mom with kids in sports. And even though I know the things to do, a lot of times it's hard to apply it. But that mental piece is so important, and I just don't think that it's talked about enough, because if we don't get this right, then we can't get this right. So I went to the gym this morning and got home, showered, and I just took a moment to look at my body. And my body isn't where I would like for it to be. But instead of focusing on that, I try to just take a minute to appreciate the good things. So I just try to take a minute to stop and appreciate my body. Okay, so this is what I want you to focus on. If you are looking in the mirror, I want you to look in the mirror naked and really look at yourself. But I want you to catch your thoughts. And instead of pointing out what you feel like are flaws or things that you don't really like about your body that you would like to change, and instead look for the things on your body that you appreciate. If you have a hard time finding something physically with your body that you can see, then I want you to appreciate what your body does for you. So for instance, I have been pregnant 5 times. I've carried 3 to full term. I have 3 beautiful, healthy, wonderful children. They bring me so much joy. I carried 2 more to 16 weeks. So I've carried 5 children, and I am just so grateful that my body did that for me and was able to provide a home and a safe place and the things that my children needed inside my body. I am grateful that I was able to stretch, and I got the biggest I've ever been. But then also, I'm not still there, so I'm grateful for that. I am grateful. I think this comes with age, too, because now I'm 40. How old am I? I think I'm 44. I think I'm 44. I'm 44. So now I appreciate different things. Like, I am grateful because I am helping to coach a volleyball team and a softball team. So I'm grateful that I can get out there physically and move and do the things that I need to do to show them and work with them and not just tell them what to do, right? Like, I do dynamic warm-ups with the kids. I am grateful that my body carries me through the day. We have some very long days, and my body can keep up with that. I'm exhausted at the end of the day, but usually it's my mind more than anything else that's so tired. But I'm grateful that my body can provide that for me. So If you have physical attributes that you really love, like point that out too to yourself, right? And don't be afraid to say it out loud. But if you are nervous or feeling embarrassed or whatever, you don't have to say it out loud. You can say it to yourself, but really focus on what you're grateful for with your body, what your body can do for you, the things that you love. I personally have also had a breast lift and augmentation. I may have gone a little too big, even though my husband doesn't think so. But I'm grateful for that, just because that's something that was a real sticking point for me. I felt so self-conscious about it before. It would just make me physically depressed because of what happened to my breasts after being able to nurse, which I'm so grateful that I was able to nurse. Not everybody can or chooses to, but I personally wanted to, and I struggled with that with my first baby. But we got there, and I'm grateful for that. But I'm also grateful that I was able to, have the surgery to give me more confidence in myself and be happy with that as well. So what does this do? When you focus on the negative, and there's things that you just hate about your body, because I feel like this is so common with women. Like, there are just things that we're like, oh, I hate this. Like, oh, I've got an apron belly. Like, I just hate it. And you look at yourself and you're like, oh, like every time. And you get so frustrated and you try to cover it up, or maybe you avoid intimacy with your partner because of it. But if you think about it this way, if you showed someone else the kind of hate that you show your body, what would that relationship be like? It would be really contentious, right? Like, you guys would probably argue all the time. You'd hate each other. It would cause you stress. And that's what you do to yourself when you show yourself that much hate. And you focus on the things that you don't like about yourself in physical form. There are things that we can change physically, and there are things that we can't change physically. Like the shape of our hips, the bone structure, you cannot change that. So I personally like a square hip is like one of the most common. You cannot change that because that's your bone structure. But you can change the amount of muscle that you have in your butt. So if you hate your butt, like, you can't change the shape of your hips, but you can change the muscle part. So you can change how big your booty is or how small it is. Like, you can change. A lot of it you can do on your own. Sometimes it just is hard or harder, or just doesn't seem to be working. And then if surgery is a route that you want to go, that's a very personal decision. It's totally up to you. It's none of anybody else's business, whether they judge you or not. Okay, right? Before you go to surgery, you got to work on this. You have to focus on the fact that you appreciate things about your body. And I'm also not talking about the toxic positivity where it's like, I love myself so much. I just love my body. I love my apron belly. Like, not trying to convince yourself to love something you don't love, right? But just finding the things that you can appreciate so that you can focus more on the good and your body feels love. Like, we want love from our partners, from our kids, from our friends. We want that, but a lot of times we're unwilling to give it to ourselves. So if we're not willing to give it to ourselves, how can we expect for other people to love us the way that we need to be loved? Because we aren't loving ourselves the way we need to be loved. But I think if you will find that if you start focusing on that a little bit, like just do it, once or twice a week to get started, and then get to the point where every day that you're changing or you're naked, go look at yourself in the mirror and find a couple of things that you love or appreciate about your body. And when you start doing that, then your body will start releasing some of that tension and hate on itself, and that's going to help you get to your goals. Whether you need to lose weight, whether you need to gain weight, whether you really do love your body and want to maintain, like, this is important no matter what. But I want you to give this a try. If you have any questions, or if you have done this, please let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you. I just feel like this is something that is not really talked about a lot. And I'm going to end it with this. Women can be so nasty to one another. Like, it's been hard to make friends as a woman my whole life. And it breaks my heart because now I watch it with my girls. I have 2 girls, and I watch it with them. My oldest has always struggled because girls have been fake and mean, point out the nasty things about you. She has, she's in high school now, and she's been recently, like several people at school have been telling her she's fat. She's not fat at all, by the way. She's athletic, not fat, but people are just like, oh, you're kind of fat, like you're kind of chunky, or you're not eating. I'm like, and that stuff gets to you, and it starts early, and it's so nasty. We have to be nice to ourselves because there are so many people that aren't nice to us, and you can't listen to that noise. It's hard. It's so hard not to listen to that noise, because if you're hearing it over and over and over. I had the same thing growing up, always being told I was fat or I was chunky or whatever. And I was from the time I hit puberty, basically, up until, I don't know, the last couple years when I went back to work, I've always been a size 6. And that was fat to people, which is bizarre. Okay? Bizarre. But we have enough people being nasty and mean to us, and we'd have to try to block that out. But we can't block that out if we're telling ourselves that we hate our bodies, that we are overweight, or we're this, or we're that. Like, you can love yourself and want to improve yourself at the same time. You can love yourself and have goals at the same time. You can do both, but you can't be negative and hating yourself and trying to improve your body or in trying to change something. It just doesn't work. It's conflict. Okay? So work on that conflict, work on appreciating and loving yourself, and let me know how that goes for you.